The Fantasy 5 drawing has a new time, 11:20. Get your numbers first on Channel 4, Monday through Friday at 11:20 during the Channel 4 News Nightcast. Stay with us. Channel 4 News. Tony Segreto. Michelle Gillen. Brian Norcross. Live. This is the Channel 4 News Nightcast.
What became a figure skating soap opera ends with drama and high emotion. Tanya Harding breaks down on the ice, but she returns looking tougher than ever. Nancy Kerrigan skates with the glitter of gold, but she can overtake a Ukrainian teenager who fought pain to place #1 in the world. Good evening, everyone. Nancy Kerrigan performed nearly perfectly, but not perfect enough to win the gold. Sports anchor Carrie Ross breaks down the scores and has the reaction. Carrie?
Michelle, we've seen the saga of Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding played out. They were the story of the Olympics, but not the best skaters. And in the end, maybe not the most courageous stories either. Those went to a 16-year-old orphan, Oksana Baiul of Ukraine.
It had all the elements promised, from bizarre to the suspenseful. Nancy Kerrigan was wearing gold and feeling golden, especially after her performance. She skated flawlessly, with her lowest score being a 5.7. She received all 5.8s and 5.9s in artistic impression. It appeared she was on her way to gold. Up next was world champion Oksana Baiul, who an hour before she took the ice had 2 painkillers injected into her leg. She was still sore from a collision in Thursday's practice. She felt anything but pain. She actually scored lower marks than Kerrigan, but ranked first with 5 of the 9 judges. Kerrigan got 4 first-place votes.
I hit everything real positive, real strong landings, and very clean.
Would you call it your best?
Yes. In a competition, it was definitely my best.
It was one of the closest finishes in Olympic history.
Actually, until the last minute, I thought that Nancy had it sewn up easily. But then Oksana threw in a triple toe at the very end and made it, you know, obviously the split panel.
And when it came time for the medal ceremony, the strange drama continued. No one could find a recording of Baiul's newly independent nation's anthem. It was Ukraine's first gold medal ever. As far as Tanya Harding, she went out with a bang. She was late getting on the ice, almost being disqualified. She started her routine, then stopped less than a minute in, breaking into tears. Her skate lace had been cut, and she couldn't skate. The judges said she could start over 20 minutes later. She finished 8th.
No, she got to pick where she skated. She got to skate later, and just another chance. I've seen something like that because it happens almost every competition if something goes wrong.
That's the first time you've heard Nancy Kerrigan talk about Tanya Harding in that light. China's Chen Lu took the bronze and Katarina Witt making a comeback, missed a couple of jumps in the end, and she finished 7th. Tony, it's all over.
Some cynicism there for Nancy, huh? Well, across the country, millions are tuning in for tonight's skating showdown. In Lauderhill tonight, dozens have gathered for a party at the Super Sports Bar. In fact, you're looking at a live picture. So what does South Florida think about the two's performance? That's the question we asked in tonight's Street Talk. That's not skating.
Tanya Harding, I think she kind of, I think she should have finished her routine at least. You know, I mean, anybody that walks off in the middle of something, just, you know, they could kind of a quitter, I guess you could say.
I know she's been through a lot with that whole Nancy Kerrigan thing, and I know it's been a real emotional time for her, so for that to, you know, happen during her performance, I think that's, you know, pretty sad, but I know she's been through a lot, and I can kind of understand it.
Yeah, Kerrigan is good. I saw her doing little flips and stuff. She great.
Yeah, she won the silver, but, you know, I think her component just laid down to her, you know. She quit halfway.
I feel real bad for Tanya. However, I understand the Ukrainian girl won the gold medal. And she's only 16 years old, must be some kind of skater.
So the competition is now over, but the controversy certainly is that Tanya Harding remains under criminal investigation for her role, if any, in the attack on Nancy. Meantime, Kerrigan's silver today helped tie the U.S. record for most medals at a Winter Olympics. Her silver added to the 11 already, earned by the likes of skaters Dan Jansen, Bonnie Blair, and, of course, Kathy Turner, skiers Tommy Moe and Peekaboo Street. There she is. That ties the medal record set in 1932 with the chance for more this weekend in either skiing or speed skating.
What a day, and we'll have more in just a little bit. Well, tonight, locally, protesters in Sawgrass Mills say they are fit to be tied over Luke Perry's new movie. Animal rights activists marched outside the movie theater there, protesting 8 seconds. The movie's about a champion rodeo rider. Protesters say the rodeo promotes mistreatment of animals. Participants say it's not true.
We're not being cruel to the animals. They're trained, we're not hurting them at all. They're trained to do what we train them for. They're not around to be hurt or cruel at all.
This movie, 8 Seconds, is promoting a very cruel sport, and we're basically out here to counteract the image that this movie's promoting and inform the public that rodeo is the cruelest sport in America.
The movie opened tonight. Well, several Broward County neighborhoods are protesting tonight, trying to rid their neighborhood of what they call the criminal element. Nightcast reporter Michael Williams says they are trying to take back their streets, and it is a movement that is growing from one community to another.
Down with drugs! Down with drugs! No more drugs! No more drugs! No more drugs!
Just north of Sunrise Boulevard, the residents in Middle River Terrace are on a push against pushers.
We're tired of the drug dealers. We're tired of the crime. We're tired of people running our neighborhoods, and we're going to start running them out.
These Friday night power strolls were born recently of frustration over open drug dealing and the other crime it attracted to Middle River, a place that includes low to middle-income apartments and homes.
I live right there. I see the action every day.
This is a rough street that we're on right now.
Rough street that you're on every day. And this is the night that it gets bad. And I'm glad we're walking down here.
And so, 70 strong, they walk the streets and have confronted drug dealers in the past. Of course, it does not hurt that Fort Lauderdale police are along. Whatever it is, police say the drug pushers are thinning out lately.
Now the people aren't afraid, and they're letting the dopers know that, hey, we're not afraid. We're going to take our streets back. You're going to have to leave.
Not everyone is impressed, though. This youngster says the walks are just so much show.
They just getting attention.
But you don't think that's enough to keep the drug dealers out of here for good?
Nope.
If you hassle them a little bit and bring a little bit of attention to them, they're going to move on to another area. They tell us that's the best we can hope for. We say that's okay with us. We'll keep moving them, and maybe we'll let the next city deal with it, hopefully.
The perfect solution? By no means. But residents here figure their newfound vigilance is a crime-fighting tool worth keeping. In Fort Lauderdale, Michael Williams, Channel 4 News.
And Middle River Terrace is not alone. Residents of Fort Lauderdale's Lake Ridge, Victoria Park, and Poinsettia Heights neighborhoods plan similar anti-drug marches in the coming weeks.
A possible break tonight in a string of attempted child abductions in Broward County. Broward Sheriff's deputies have arrested a man suspected in a kidnapping attempt in Deerfield Beach on Wednesday. Now, detectives say a license plate number led them to William McCann. Pompano Beach police are investigating whether McCann is the man behind several other near abductions there. He admits to killing 5 college students in Gainesville, but now attorneys for Danny Rolling say he will not get a fair sentencing hearing there. Rolling pleaded guilty to the 5 murders 2 weeks ago. Today, his attorneys petitioned the court for a change of venue. The judge, however, put off his ruling until Monday. Channel 4, of course, will be there when the decision comes down. We'll bring it to you live.
Indeed we will. Well, threats of revenge tonight from a Palestinian terrorist group after an Israeli doctor massacres dozens at a mosque in the West Bank. The bloodshed sparked rioting and more deaths, but as Nightcast reporter Steve Handelsman tells us, it may have only sped up the peace process between Israel and Palestine.
Many in the Middle East tonight still doubt that a lone Jewish terrorist could have killed so many Arabs in today's massacre at the mosque. But witnesses now say gunman Baruch Goldstein, the Brooklyn-born doctor and fanatic Israeli nationalist, used more than just his M16-style rifle. They say between firing at the 800 Arabs who knelt in prayer at the Abraham Mosque in Hebron, that Goldstein threw 3 hand grenades, and say he was in fact beaten to death at the end by enraged Arabs. President Clinton condemned Goldstein's attack.
Extremists on both sides are determined to drag Arabs and Israelis back into the darkness of unending conflict and bloodshed.
Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin called Goldstein a lunatic and told PLO leader Yasser Arafat by telephone, "As an Israeli, I am ashamed of this deed." But Arafat blamed the Israeli army and demanded protection for Arabs.
Third, Israeli government must disarm all the settlers
As news of the massacre spread, rock-throwing Arabs rioted in Jerusalem and in Gaza, and Israeli soldiers fired back. A retired American from New York State and at least a dozen more Arabs were killed. Today's death toll, more than 50, wounded 170. But as the fighting continued, President Clinton made a bold move to intervene. He invited the PLO and the Israelis to come to Washington for intensive new talks to break their current deadlock and finalize a peace agreement. And both sides accepted.
It is my hope that the parties can turn today's tragic event into a catalyst for further progress and reconciliation.
Looks like the PLO and the Israelis will meet here in Washington next week. What's not clear is how involved President Clinton might get, or what the risk might be to him politically if these talks blow up. I'm Steve Handelsman, Channel 4 News at the White House.
Now, violence was never a part of Baruch Goldstein's past. In fact, the 42-year-old doctor saved dozens of Israeli lives, many of them victims of Palestinian violence. Born and raised in Brooklyn, Goldstein graduated with honors from Yeshiva University and the Albert Einstein School of Medicine. He left for Israel in 1981. Well, President Clinton retaliating against Russia tonight. He has kicked out one of their top diplomats reportedly involved in the CIA spy scandal. Several Russian diplomats arrived at the White House today to discuss his actions. Alexander Lysenko has been told he has 7 days to leave. He is reportedly Russia's top intelligence officer in the United States. Clinton says Lysenko was, quote, in a position to be responsible for the activities of allegedly CIA spy Adric Ames. Tony?
Well, straight ahead on the Channel 4 News Nightcast, a small plane plunges into a Southwest 8 canal. 3 people were on board.
How comedian Garrett Morris is doing one day after he's gunned down in a robbery attempt.
And proof there is life beyond our solar system? That story as we go around the nation and around the stratosphere next.
Real-time closed captioning on Channel 4 News is brought to you by aluminum roll-up shades and shutters.
Tonight on the night shift, he's big. He does the Watusi. He's Rush Limbaugh.
And if you want to get ratings and if you want to get money, you get Rush.
Oh, I see. Then she's beautiful. She rides a Harley, and she dated Elvis.
Did you ever go riding with him?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. She's Anne Margaret. NBC tonight. Then on Conan's show, Ben Stiller, Frasier's Perry Gilpin, and meet Mr. Molecule. Plus a heartwarming tribute to Bob Costas. NBC Night Shift tonight.
You just passed a BMW 540i, and you know your Lexus GS can outcorner it. And you wonder if they know. Then you think to yourself, which is worse for them? You knowing how much more they paid, or them knowing how little you paid? Ask your South Florida Lexus dealer about the Lexus GS custom tailored lease. You'll know.
If you're not shopping at Ross,
you're paying too much for name brand and designer clothing.
And who wants to do that?
Hey, South Florida, this could be your last chance to save big on Dodge Caravan because the $500 cash back ends soon. Plus, it's your chance to lease America's favorite minivan for just $209 a month. That includes the security of features like standard dual airbags and dynamic side impact protection. Plus, with the family value package, you also get air at no extra charge. Yes, the Dodge last chance could be your last chance to get big cashback savings on Dodge Caravan. So see your nearest South Florida Dodge dealer today.
Most people have something they're willing to pay a premium for. For some, it's art. For some, it's entertainment. For others, it's travel. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
What do you do on weekend mornings?
Eat breakfast.
Mow the lawn.
Clean the oven.
Do the laundry.
Lay in the sun.
Walk the dog.
Do aerobics.
Wash your car.
Call your mom.
Pay your bills.
Nurse your hangover.
Play with the kids.
Catch butterflies.
Change diapers.
Polish your nails.
Play golf.
Watch news.
Watch news? Yes. Channel 4 News on weekend mornings.
It's South Florida's first and best weekend morning news.
And everything else can wait, except maybe those diapers.
3 people are slightly injured after a small plane goes down in Southwest Dade. The plane went down just after takeoff from Tamiami Airport. The pilot reportedly radioed that his plane was having some engine trouble, and he had to put it down.
And tried to land the plane on the roadway here, but there were too many cars on there, and they elected to ditch it in the lake.
The pilot and his passengers managed to get out of the plane, suffering only minor injuries. The FAA and NTSB are investigating. Wicked weather making afternoon traffic rough all over Dade today. Rain poured down through the early afternoon, causing traffic jams around downtown Miami, as it usually does when it rains like this. In fact, it's been an unusually wet winter this season. So far, this winter, we've had 9 inches of rain. Normally, we get just over 4.
Well, comedian Garrett Morris is reportedly much improved tonight, one day after being critically wounded in a botched holdup, and that tops the news from around the nation. Morris, best known as one of the original members of Saturday Night Live, was held up by 2 men in South Central LA yesterday. Police say they shot Morris in the chest after he told them he didn't have any money.
Tomorrow, a grim reminder of the worst terrorist attack in U.S. history. Saturday marks the 1-year anniversary of the World Trade Center bombing. The victims were remembered today in a special mass in New York. 6 people were killed in that attack.
Well, some news that we're not alone in the universe. We know we're not alone, but we've got even more company, I guess, than we knew about. The University of Pennsylvania says that it is now reporting the existence of 2 planets orbiting a star in the Milky Way galaxy. Alexander Wolfskan says the 2 planets are orbiting what's called a pulsar. That is more than hundreds of trillions of miles away from the Earth.
You think they heard about Harding and Kerrigan there?
The battle may have originated there, this one.
Next on the Nightcast, you've heard of virtual reality, but did you really know what it can do?
Next, we're going to tell you about some real-life uses. Health Report Eliana Bravo has a special report up next. Stay right there.
Think you can't afford a new Jeep Cherokee? Think again, because this week, they're not $24,000, not even $19,000, but loaded for this incredibly low price. With a 4-liter 6-cylinder engine, automatic, power steering, power brakes, an AM/FM stereo, and air at no extra charge. So think of the fun, think of the savings, but think fast, because it's only for a limited time.
See your Florida Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Just threw us off when we walked in to even think that there's all of this under one roof.
We haven't even made it through the whole story yet, and we've been here an hour and a half, so.
I think it's a very exciting place.
We're just kind of walking around playing with everything, like children.
You could never get bored here. Even if you're hungry, you can never get bored here.
I was shocked to find a McDonald's in here.
There's always some sort of performance somewhere.
This is my idea of fun.
Just come here and have fun. That's a fun place to go.
They're here. Giant moving insects and huge, creepy, crawly robo-bugs. Only at the Miami Museum of Science. Don't miss it. Brought to you by Channel 4 and these sponsors.
Meaningful luxury. That's the kind of luxury you'll find in the new Mitsubishi Galant. What is meaningful luxury?
These are a few of my favorite things.
Thoughtful details. Things that people can use. Including 2 things that could prove particularly useful. See the all-new Galant from Mitsubishi.
These are a few of my
The new thinking in automobiles.
Is there such a thing as a lease that's fun? Well, if it's a lease on a new 1994 4-wheel drive Isuzu Rodeo, there is. Because at just $269 a month, it makes enjoying the big-time fun of a rodeo really easy. And if you don't believe us, just look how much fun our lawyers had with it. Geez, guys, not that much fun. Oof. Come on.
Offer not valid on Mars or other non-terrestrial sites.
Sheesh. Isuzu, practically amazing.
Well, it started with video games. Remember the ones that you could tilt?
Yep.
Then video games simply became games that we could become a part of.
At least you feel like you've become a part of.
Right.
Now, the question is, how far are they going? Health reporter Ileana Bravo says it is radically changing modern medicine.
Virtual reality places you in an environment you may otherwise not be able to access. The possibilities are endless. It can simulate anything, a house, a park, or even the body of a patient prepped for surgery. That's right, virtual surgery, virtual repair of virtual trauma. Think about it. Procedures that seemed impossible may one day become routine because doctors would be able to visualize the surgery on computer before risking the health of the patient. This is BioMuse, a device that acts on bioelectric signals, which means it can react to any movement, even as subtle as eye movement. It could eventually allow people to control their environment just by looking at a computer screen. Your eyes become the computer mouse.
We're thinking this will be an ideal controller for people with physical disabilities. That is, people that are paralyzed but still have some muscle activity.
Scientists are adapting this for quadriplegics, allowing them to participate in activities they ordinarily couldn't. Virtually anything is possible. Psychiatrist Mark Greenfield says virtual reality would help handicapped people feel like they can move around more easily.
In their minds, they all see themselves as walking, moving around kind of people, and they're frustrated and very, very angry and depressed because they don't have that capacity. So I saw virtual reality as a way of giving them that ability.
This is a prototype of the Data Glove, a Lycra glove fitted with fiber optic sensors hooked up to a computer program called Glove Talker. It's designed to help people who can't speak vocalize key phrases. And this is just scratching the surface. Soon you'll be able to experience virtually anything through virtual reality, even virtual sex. Ileana Bravo, Channel 4 News.
Well, Brian has our weekend forecast
And
next.
boy, are we ready for the weekend.
Yes, we
and
are.
The forecast, so stay right there.
This is tonight's Florida Lottery new Fantasy 5 for February 25th, 1994. Match all 5 numbers and be one of over 100 weekly winners taking home an estimated $20,000 each. All drawings supervised by Lottery Security and certified by Lovelace Roby and Company, Moore Stevens International. Now here's Melissa Zimmer with tonight's new Fantasy 5 numbers. The first number is 24. The second number is 25. The third number is 20. The fourth number is 3. And the last number is 15. So tonight's numbers 24, 25, 20, 3, and 15. Last night, 23 big winners matched all 5 numbers and took home over $21,000 apiece. Join us Monday through Friday for the new Fantasy 5. And don't forget Saturday's $7 million Florida Lotto jackpot. Good night and good luck, Florida.
February is Go for the Gold month at your South Florida Ford dealer, and we've got record-breaking savings on Ford Probe. Buy one now and get $500 cash back or 3.9% financing. That's right, buy any new Probe before February 28th and get $500 cash back or 3.9% financing. Go for the gold. Go for the savings and win with Ford's full line of America's best sellers.
See your South Florida Ford dealer today.
The live Lotto drawing every Saturday night right before the Channel 4 News Nightcast at 11.
Dade Chrysler Plymouth has the lowest prices, highest trades, biggest selection. Buy a 94 Voyager at factory wholesale invoice price from only $14,311. 94 Concords at factory wholesale invoice price from only $18,077. South Florida's Neon headquarters. Dade Chrysler Plymouth, 4 minutes south of the Falls on US 1 Miami.
Dade Chrysler Plymouth, coming now.
Kenny Rogers Roasters Chicken.
It's the wood that makes it good.
If you're not shopping at Ross.
You're paying too much for name brand and designer clothing.
And Who wants to do that?
It has one of the most advanced computer networks ever made, and more safety systems than anything in its class. One magazine said it will set the standards by which other automobiles are judged for years to come. The Mercedes S-Class. Think of it as the pace car of the entire automotive industry.
Brian's starting to complain about the humidity and the rain for lots of reasons.
It's been one of those days around here, hasn't it?
Can you do a triple Lutz?
I have no idea what that is. I have no idea.
We caught you practicing back there.
Right, take a look at this. Chicagoland. Hello, Chicago. Look at this. 15 inches of snow on the ground there today. Are you ready for it right now? Right now, blowing snow. The temperature is 14 degrees, drifting at the airport. O'Hare has been virtually shut down much of the day. Lovely. 8 inches more forecast overnight tonight at the lakefront. The visibility at rush hour this morning, 100 feet. Des Moines, Iowa, down the road there. Oh. The noon wind chill, look at it there, looks like Siberia. The noon wind chill, 38 below. Now, blowing snow and it's warmed up to 6 below wind chill. And check out these deranged birds here. These are actually robins. And it was up in the 60s last week in Indiana, so they all came back, thought it was spring, and now they've got this blizzard planned for them, so we don't know what's going to happen. They're all in Beasley's Apple Orchard in Danville, Indiana. Okay, check it outside here, 72 degrees, and there's the problem with my hair, 82% humidity, winds out of the west at 3, barometer falling. 1/3 of an inch of rain is all we got here. Some spots, though, 1.5 to 2 inches in South Dade today. The official temperature is 11 o'clock. Cool spots out of Kendall and West Palm, and a little bit of fog might develop in some of the inland sections tonight. At the Miami airport today, we hit 89 degrees. That ties the record on the state, and it's also the warmest ever recorded in the month of February. So we are in record territory for sure. Not that warm here tomorrow. All right, check the storm track Doppler radar now, and watch the showers as they move through here during the evening hours. You see we've got a little batch of them coming in from the west coast, very widely scattered though. Some of us may see a pretty good little shower briefly, the rest of us nothing at all as this goes on through, and I think that is a good trend as far as we look at tomorrow. Now back to 11 o'clock this morning, watch this area here, comes across, boom, big thunderstorms develop. Now we have a few showers left in it, also it's breaking up back here. That's real good news. I think we're going to see some sunshine around here tomorrow. Certainly not a total washout of a weekend if it isn't going to be exactly perfect. So here's Chicago now, still snowing with that wind chill at 18 below. Look at Dayton, Ohio right now, wind chill 25 below. No snow yet for New York City, but 2 to 4 inches coming tomorrow. Check out here on the map as we see it for tomorrow. There you see the temperatures, 22 in Chicagoland, but finally the sunshine as the snow moves into the northeast. Then by Sunday, that system's gone. The whole east coast is cleared out, including a second front coming through here, pushing the kind of hanging around one that's been here all the way through and cooling us off a little bit, but decent sunshine. Now, next week, watch this. Here comes a storm across the south, up the east coast. This could be a major blizzard all the way from the Carolinas to New England, and it could be very stormy here and very, very cold by the end of the week. Here you go with your forecast now. For the boaters, that's a maybe on all that. By afternoon tomorrow, north wind at 10, 2 feet or less in the open sea. Light chop in the bay. Boating conditions actually look pretty good. Passing showers tonight and maybe some patchy fog, about 68 for a low. 83 tomorrow, limited sunshine, but some showers here and there. And then breezy and warm first of the week, and then the cold front comes in. Look, I've got highs of 70, 66, lows in the 40s. We'll watch that closely. It's going to be something. Okay, have a good weekend, Michelle and Tony.
You too, Brian. Sports is next in the Nightcast.
Did the Miami Heat stay hot against the Sixers? We'll have the highlights and the answer for you next.
We check the brakes, inspect the interior, detail the exterior, refill the fluids.
We may replace the hoses, maybe change the tires. Condition the leather.
In fact, after every certified pre-owned Lexus ES endures over 100 quality and maintenance checks and is backed by a special limited warranty, there is only one test left to perform. Lexus certified pre-owned cars are at your participating South Florida Lexus dealer.
You never knew Levitt's was so real.
Levitt's end of the month sale is going on now through Monday.
That's great to know.
Save 20 to 63% off regular prices.
Sounds good to me.
Like this two-piece sectional for only $14.99 with side-by-side recliners, a center console, and phone, plus a full-size sleeper with inner spring mattress. That's why everybody loves it at Levitt's.
We knew that. Yeah.
It's a benchmark. A benchmark in America for 25 years.
Got it?
The Toyota Corolla. Corolla. And right now, you can get it for a low lease payment of just $179 a month for 36 months.
Get it?
$179 a month loaded with features.
Got it?
Dual airbags, air conditioning, power steering, AM/FM radio, and even automatic transmission.
Got it?
$179.
Good.
See your Toyota dealer now. Get it?
Got it.
Good.
Exciting, dynamic, unique. These are the words for Miami Beach's new waterfront residential community, Sunset Harbor. And here's another word, value. Because from just $130,000, Sunset Harbor offers spectacular waterfront condominiums, townhomes, and a yacht club. Health spa and recreation, panoramic views, and South Beach at your doorstep. For the last word and the best buy, Bayfront on Miami Beach. Remember only 2 words, Sunset Harbor.
You want the #1 best bet in a new subcompact? Then come into your Hyundai dealer today and get a new 94 Hyundai XL for only $69.45 after $750 factory cash assistance. That's right, the #1 best bet subcompact in the 94 edition of the car book is the Hyundai XL, America's lowest priced car. And the bet just got better because right now your participating Hyundai dealers are offering no money down and no payments till August of '94. That makes the Hyundai XL a sure thing. Don't take a gamble anywhere else. Buy a new Hyundai XL at your Hyundai dealer today.
Listen to Tony's Sports Updates every weekday morning on Magic 102.7.
Well, the Winter Olympic Games have never and may never have as much drama as this year's games in Lillehammer, thanks mostly to Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. Today, the saga finally ended, but not without more dramatics. First up, Tanya Harding. She broke the lace on her skates. It stopped her first performance midway through. Tearfully, she told the judges what happened. They gave her a second chance, but it wasn't enough. She skated well with no glaring mistakes. She came out of 1 jump. She never did the triple axel, but could only finish 8th. Remember, she entered the long program in 10th place. Meanwhile, Nancy Kerrigan entered the long program in 1st place and did nothing to hurt her chances in her final skate of these games. She was near flawless in skating to a medley of Neil Diamond songs. She got high marks in both the artistic and technical portions of her program, but those marks were only good enough for a silver medal. That's because the judges were absolutely mesmerized by Oksana Bayul. The gold medal is hers. Bayul entered the final day in 2nd place and received 5 first-place votes to Kerrigan's 4. The defending world champion skated as well as Kerrigan, in fact, maybe better in some people's eyes, and it basically came down to the judges to decide between the 2. Here's what Kerrigan said about it afterwards.
Definitely, I'm real proud of myself and can't complain with what I did out there. I was great.
Thought, or would you consider at all to trying again for the gold in the 4 years?
No way. No, absolutely not.
Well, it shouldn't be this easy in the NBA, though I don't think the Heat's complaining. They've won the past 2 games by an average of 30 points, and they continued that streak tonight in Philadelphia. The scoreboard lights went out, and I'm sure Philadelphia didn't want them to come back on. Miami trailed by 3 early, but quickly made that up. Watch Bimbo Coles here. He's going to do a little jiggle. He's going to do a little wiggle, and then he's going to dish it to Steve Smith. Pull up, point, look, nothing but net for the 3. He had 5 threes on the night. And watch Glenn Rice. This is Glenn Rice. Yeah, and, ooh, here's Glenn Rice. Oh, that's nice. The slammer. He had 25. Matt Geiger came off the bench to give the Heat 12 first-half points. The Geiger jam. Heat led by 7 at the half and ran away with it in the 3rd quarter. Ronnie Cycli goes over Charles Weatherspoon for the slam. And later, Cycli will get the steal. A little give and go with Bimbo. He will get the 2+1 and the foul. Coles had an outstanding game, 5 steals. Heat wins it 115-84, their 3rd straight blowout. They have another blowout opportunity tomorrow night in Detroit. Elsewhere, the Hawks beat Milwaukee. Danny Manning did not play in the game. Cleveland by 10 over the Warriors. Indiana ripped the Pistons. Orlando won at 6 straight, 114 over 102 over New Jersey. The Bulls a big win over Washington. We have Denver leading New York in the 4th, and Utah a winner over Phoenix, 107-87. A capacity crowd at the Dade Kendall Gibson Center tonight to see Miami High and Northwestern meet for the 4th time this season. Miami High, dark uniforms, won 2 of 3, but tonight was the night that counted. Northwestern Sam Watts was the key. He had a couple of great moves. Watch this one here. He finished with 17 points. The Stingerees fired 3-pointers all night to stay close. but it wasn't close enough. Northwestern runs away with a 75-54. They will play in next week's Region 4 5A title game on Friday night. Holy cow, okay, you huckleberries. I can just hear the scooter now. We're talking about former Yankee shortstop Phil Rizzuto, finally named to the Baseball's Hall of Fame today by the Veterans Committee. Rizzuto, who is a great friend of Channel 4, had been eligible for the past 26 years. Also elected today, the late manager Leo DeRocher, who coined the phrase, nice guys finish last. Let's go to the hockey scoreboard tonight. We have the Islanders over Philadelphia. The final there is 2-0. Chicago 3-1 over Buffalo. It's time for us to say good night.
Good night, everyone.